Hey guys, Blake Ritchie here with Honey Creek Design Build. We're in Wellsburg at a renovation project, episode 2 of the series. I have Jenna with Aurora Design Group with us today. We brought Jenna on this project when we were in our design and planning agreement for this project. Jenna, tell us a little bit about yourself and what all ADG does.
Yeah, so I'm an interior designer. I started my own company about a year ago, specializing in everything from custom home plans to interior finishes in the range of new construction to complete renovations.
We got Jenna involved. The customers really liked the modern farmhouse look and style, and there was a lot to be done with this project, so that's where Jenna came in.
Yes, sir.
Now that we're fully demoed, even though we planned and made plans before this and had measurements, the measurements still change. We can't get a perfect takeoff. So now we have to go through that again?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a key thing whenever you renovate is that numbers are going to change, dimensions are going to change, and we ended up gaining a lot of space upstairs.
Yep, so there's a lot more usable space in that attic space, now the second story.
So tell me a little bit more, like how this all came to be. You decided to take the dormer off the back and expand it, so we gained the entire width of the back part of the house.
Yep, so we gained about a foot in depth, and then we're gaining the full head height from the 10-12 pitch to whatever slope it is. We're gonna frame a 7-foot wall on the back side of the whole house, back to the same peak. And so now the back side of the house will be total usable space in that upstairs.
There's some big transformations taking place. So originally upstairs there was no bathroom. We've added the bathroom in, and then we're accommodating their 3 children. Correct.
There was one open space up there before, and now we have 2 bedrooms and a full bathroom and closets.
And closets.
So we got you involved to help figure out the actual layout of the house. I couldn't quite figure out exactly everything that the clients wanted to fit. And so you came in and made that work with the space that we have provided.
Yeah, spatial reconfigurations are one of my favorite things to do. I mean, a client comes to the builder, they come to me as the designer, and they have this huge wish list of things they want to do in a renovation process. And then I think it's our job to kind of undesign everything they want while still providing them with a beautiful space, which I think is what we have in progress here.
Correct. Yeah, meeting the client's budget is also the hard part. That's where I have to play balance, but we did a great job on this one, meeting the budget and meeting their wants and needs in the space that we had to work with.
Definitely. I mean, we moved the staircase to create an open concept.
Yep.
When you move a staircase, there's so many other factors that come into play. The main thing is where those stairs will come out on the top level. Yep. So you can't just move a staircase. You have to think of like, where is that landing going to be in the upper level? And that kind of was our restriction in this project, was we placed them where we could to maximize space upstairs.
Yep. We had to totally reframe the floor system. We had to put this beam in here because we weren't counting on the joist running that way. But when you turn something like that, you have to think about all your structural members and also lining up clear down to the basement. So we have to put beam in the basement as well as this room, and then to carry that load from above.
There is a true design build aspect to every project where I aesthetically want to make sure that things look good and functionally or spatially laid out correctly, but then you have to be able to build it. Right. So that's it affects the client, it affects time and schedules.
Correct. But we've knocked this one out and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
On episode 1, we said we were going to lose the chimney, and actually after demo, we get to keep it. Jenna is
very excited about that.
But once again, talking to the fact that you can't get perfect measurements when the house is in its original stage, and once we're demoed, now we have real measurements. There was lots of walls and closet space around this, so you can kind of see it on the floor of what was around it, so I couldn't get an accurate measurement. Once again, now it's open, we know where it's at. I thought it was gonna actually impede in our shower space, and it doesn't, so now we're gonna utilize it in the living room and kitchen as the design.
I think our goal was to keep it originally, but it is just one of those things that until you dive into that process, you just don't know what has to go, what can stay. So I think this was a win in our book, where you got to keep it. The homeowners get to maintain an element of their old home while having a new space.
Right.
All right, so far we have talked about how we've opened up their front entry.
Yep.
We gained some space in their master bedroom. We added a master bathroom. We were able to keep that chimney.
Correct.
We relocated their staircase
Yep.
to create an open concept between the living room and the kitchen. And now where are we?
Now we're in the back in the dining room. And back here we had to add a mud room for the family to use themselves, not kind of for the public one, and then still maintain space for a dining room. So that was kind of difficult. You were definitely key in that part. So back here we'll have a dining room where we're standing, and over here we'll have a mud room with another bench with some hooks. And
you may not be able to see it, but we are on a different level as the rest of the house. So what's your plan there?
So we've got to frame all these doors and windows up to the rest of the level height, and then we will frame this floor in so it's the same level as the rest. So essentially be like a small crawl space below.
I think this was one of the more challenging spaces just because there were a lot, with it being an open space, there were a lot of different things we could have done with it. Right. So we again went back to the client, got their wish list, and divided it into, as you said, dining and then kind of the owner's entry mudroom area that's so popular these days.
Yep, and then with a powder room with their washer and dryer in that area as well.
Right, so that's a great space and very functional for a family of 5.
Yep. So we're in the front of the house, and originally we weren't, when we were in the design process together, we weren't planning on tearing this down. The only dormer we're adding was in the back, and then it came to our minds that if we tear this down and add a dormer above it, it will do 2 things: get us function in that second level and add to the aesthetics of the exterior of the house.
Yeah, it's going to create a lot of charm, and it'll just complete their project. They'll have a new interior, new layout, new finishes, and then a completely new aesthetic to the facade.
So thanks, Jenna, for coming all the way up here to shoot this with us. We'll put a link to all of her pages, her Facebook and Instagram and her website in the descriptions. And in the next episode, you'll see this. It'll be fully framed and we'll have mechanicals going in. So we'll see you next time.